What's up, Dragon Ball fam? I'm just coming at you today with just want to do a quick video before I go to work, honestly. Just to touch base with you guys. Alright, cool. Don't worry about that. That's my work. Before I go to work, I just wanted to touch base with you guys. So, with that being said, I bought a couple packs from Target. I'm just gonna open up those, and if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to ask away while I open up some packs. Chop shop about what I believe is going to happen in the upcoming meta. And yeah, so it was just a bunch of these packs. I was getting some diapers, right? And I seen a bunch of the power absorbers. I don't have any new cards, right? I sold all my stuff. I just started picking some up for my teammates. So saw some cards. I'm like, hey, let me get some. I think it's 16 packs if I'm not mistaken. All right, yeah. Without further ado, let's get into it. Right. So we all know the ban list just hit, and a lot of people are looking. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of things where, yeah, the biggest winners from the ban list, it's going to be black, it's going to be red, it's going to be yellow, it's going to be all this good stuff. I think it's obvious, right? The biggest winners from the actual ban list itself is, let me do it like this so you guys can kind of see me and talk, is yellow, man. Yellow didn't get touched. Yellow was just like unflawed. Um, it was already super good going into the set, right? But now it's like even more broken because the decks that were banned, yellow was still finding ways to kind of derail them, and now yellow is still in the game. The biggest loss besides the actual leaders itself is honestly I think it's oh, excuse me, before I even go to that, right? Another huge winner besides yellow itself I think is the Zamasu, because the Zamasu deck no longer has to deal with the annoyingness of the one star ball, because the one star ball, if you played against that, would probably end up just being an auto loss, right? You have everything that negs your guys down. It wouldn't bode too well for you. But now with that being gone, I mean, you get time to thrive. Speaking of the Zamasu deck, I do believe that is the best blue deck going into the next set. There will be other playable blue decks, but I do believe Zamasu itself is going to be the best blue overall deck. It's too nasty. I played against my teammates. Pan is still able to. My bad. Let me put this up a little bit. Brand, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. Pan is still able to neg the monster cards. It is. It is. You're 100% correct. There's a bunch of decks that can still neg cards. For instance, it's Pan U7. A bunch of stuff can still neg it, but then it's just in the past format, right? You know for a fact you're gonna see cards such as the one star ball because it's just meta. Pan, you'll see it, but it's not going to be as dominant as the one star ball. I think you're going to see more of a spread between Pan, U7, and other decks in itself, and that's what I'm trying to get at when I say Zamasu is probably one of the biggest winners of the actual list itself, because it's not in a meta where you're going to see everyone and their mama playing Pan. Nah, you're going to see people playing 21. You're going to see people playing Zamasu. You're going to see people playing Reboot Soul Striker, Yellow, a lot of Yellow, a lot of Yellow, and the only way currently that I see that yellow has an out to those Zamasu cards is that Goku and Vegeta. I think it's like Ultimate Duo, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Final Flash and stuff, but it's just going to be annoying to try to get rid of those blockers and indestructible threats. But you are 100% correct. Pan can still easily do it. So can a bunch of the U7 Gohan deck as well. It can get free combo power. I talked to Legend. I'm like, bro, are you happy about this list? Cause I'm like, honestly speaking, I could even see Invoker come back. A lot of slower decks, in my opinion, now have the ability to thrive because of the I guess the gatekeeper and the one star ball. I always loved that deck. I always thought that deck was better than SS4. SS4 is cool and all, but SS4 had like deliberate answers where the one star ball it's really really hard, right? You would have to play a deck that's able to just combo out of everything, and Crimson was a good deck to counteract that, but there wasn't really other decks that can do it like that. There's also Cooler Mill and Launch too. Yeah, you're 100%. Oh, cool. I got the Vegito SR. There's also Cooler Mill and Launch. But on that note, I want to get to yellow decks because of what you just said, the Cooler Mill and Launch. So, in my opinion, the best yellow deck currently right now is Trunks. But there's a plethora of yellow decks you can play because if you want to go the defensive route, you got Trunks, or in my opinion, you got the reboot starter deck Ape Goku. And just like Randall just said, I like the starter deck reboot Ape Goku for the specific reason is you get to finish your games using a unison. So you don't have to worry about the annoyingness of things such as Cooler or any arrival based type decks. Whereas Trunks, you'll have to sideboard for those games. And it's going to be a nuisance because the meta is going to be super diverse in my opinion. You'll see a lot of Golden Frieza. The thing about Golden Frieza is like it's good and all, but damn guys, like I don't know. I'm not a patient person where I just like to just chill and I don't know wait till like what turn 6 or 7 in order to win a game. So you'll probably never see me playing that. Or if I did play it, you'd see me play it in a completely different route. Um, yeah, I would just recommend if you are a yellow player, if you want to do the aggro route, you have the Majin Vegeta deck. The starter deck, really good. I don't think it's as broken as people think it is. I think it's a really solid deck because it's a yellow deck that can put pressure on board super easily. And I still don't think, or if people are finally catching on to it, it's been like too late because I don't think that deck was supposed to be as good as people are making it out to be. It was just a solid yellow deck that can actually put early damage on board, and we haven't had that for a while. I think the last time we had something like that that just puts damage out that fast, it's been what I guess you can say, I don't know, what is the deck, Aggro Sin, that was putting super early damage like that. Pick up your Borgos cards. Borgos like cards for Golden Frieza. Yeah. The issue with those Borgos like cards, right? I'm gonna tell you right now. The issue with those cards is that Golden Frieza can just super take care of those cards with their Secret Identity Black Mass Saiyan. And another thing I see a lot of players doing too, they put in multiple down. When you're playing those cards, play them one at a time, right? Play them one at a time, and then as soon as they clear a board, you play another one the next turn. Because you stacking them up is not going to do nothing except getting board wipe. Another thing too is when you're playing yellow decks, specifically such as Trunks and the that's a cool card. Specifically such as Trunks and the actual starter deck Ape Goku, you're playing a lot of blockers. So if they are playing cards such as like Power vs Super Saiyan, Black Kamehameha, and they rest those cards in order to attack, you do have a plethora of blockers as well as your riposte that you can stop them from attacking those floodgate woods with, which is really cool. And another Borgos like card that people aren't playing but it's a red deck is that Veku, right? There's a Veku in I think it was set 5 or set 6 Gogeta BR. It's a TP. It plays just like the Borgos like cards, except it's barrier. It's a thousand. Yeah, it's a 10,000 power card, but you're not gonna attack with it. You pay 1, you use a Goku BR from your hand and a Vegeta BR, and you play it for 1, and it has barrier, and it's just exactly what the Borgos type cards are, and they just chill on board. Really solid. Really good card, especially if Golden Frieza is the default deck that a lot of people will go to. I think it will be because it's a simple route to play Golden Frieza, where I guess if you like to just chill, you'll just pass, get to turn 5, play Cooler, or if you see an opening, you can win with the actual Unison Gohan. A bunch of ways you can win with that deck. It's just to me not my playstyle, so I'd never play it. You would 100% catch me playing the Trunks deck. You can possibly see me even playing the actual the Majin Vegeta deck because I seen some builds and I'm like, oh that's cool, but I think there's some tweaks to the actual Majin Vegeta deck itself that people haven't seen yet, so I'd like to venture out with that deck. I'm trying to think what other decks do I see. It's really cool. So we talked about yellow enough. Let's move on to blue. Blue, I do believe Zamasu hands down is the best blue deck in the game. Best blue deck in the game. 21 is 21, but the thing about 21 using Zamasu's cards is, yeah, you could use them, but they're indestructible, so they're not really going anywhere. There's nothing you can do. Like, all your guys that say ignore barrier, all that good stuff, you can't do nothing to them, right? Because they are stuck there as indestructible threats. I don't. It's been a while since I played, but I don't think blue has a way to out these indestructible cards. Maybe a mistake, and maybe have to go check that out. But I don't believe off the top of my head that blue can just, hey, I'm going to out your indestructible card. Trying to think what else blue has. There's Reboot, Soul Strike. There's a bunch of blue stuff, right? But at the end of the day, what gives you value like Zamasu does? I don't think anything comes close to giving the value, the same value, anyways, that Zamasu would give you. So I'm gonna go on to black. Black with Cumber. Cumber has a huge hand size. Speaking of Cumber, I'm seeing a lot of Cumber cards right here. Cumber is gonna have a huge hand size. I think the Cumber deck was solid, but the thing about Black itself is Black doesn't really have answers to floodgates besides like what Black Kamehameha. But then even with that Black Kamehameha, you have to be at 4 or less life, which is it's like an iffy thing. And my biggest thing besides not having a real true early answer to something like a your post early on, it's the fact that you don't have a repost of yourself, and that's the rough part. So the only deck, to my knowledge, right now that has like a repost that's I guess you can say a viable black deck would be the Xeno Trunks, because the Xeno Trunks has that pan, but that pan, don't forget, you are paying a card from your hand, so you're discarding. Well, it plays like Topo, where I believe you play it, then your auto will proc off, and your auto will be you warp a card, send a card to warp, and then your opponent, if they attack with battle cards, they have to discard something or something. I forgot what it was. That's the only black leader that I know has an actual floodgate. Also, Mecha Cabrera as well. Mecha Cabrera also has that too. I forgot about Mecha Cabrera. It's been a while because I did see Mecha Cabrera had a little bit of support coming in. I started reading the cards to catch up on the sets so I could start making videos for you guys. The black deck that I saw instantly was like, damn, I fell in love with was Cumber, which is the reason why I bought this set when I started at Target. Because I'm like, I might as well just pick up the these Cumber cards itself. I believe this is a really good card that people just aren't playing in Cumber. This right here, it's like pretty much a 2-drop Denial of Hope. It is a counterplay. Let me read it. Yeah, the battle card being played as an energy cost of 4 or less, play it in your battle area instead. So pretty much it's a Denial of Hope, because any floodgate type of effects they are not going to get, because it's going to be on your side of the field. So you're going to be the person who owns that auto. Alright, cool. Alexa, stop. That's my alarm to get ready for work. But I have a little bit of time to talk black. Black. I like Cumber a lot. I'm gonna venture off of Cumber. Cumber is a black Saiyan leader. Um, the biggest issue Black had was pretty much what just God sealing and the Majin Buu Unison. Majin Buu Unison, I mean it's still there, but it's not as big of a deal as it was. So I will venture off to say I'm going to test Cumber. I'll let you guys know how that goes for me. What other black decks do I want to test out that I think is good? I don't like Supreme Kai. I mean, Supreme Kai is cool and all. I don't know. I just don't like Supreme Kai. It is a cool deck. It is a good deck. I'm not saying that it's bad. I personally just don't like the playstyle of Supreme Kai itself. I would like to test out Trunks, but the thing about Trunks, right? The Xeno Trunks is that deck draws a lot. I'd be scared to deck out with that deck. That deck draws a lot, but it is a good deck because it's one of the few decks that you have that you can be. It's like the U7 effect, right? You can be full throttle and still be at 8 life if they were just playing around thinking they're not going to attack you. And I don't believe that leader has to even attack in order to get those draws. I believe they just send those cards to the warp and then they draw to you. So really, really good deck. Really, really good leader. Let me put it that way. I'm gonna see if it's an actual good and viable deck to play and dominate with. Green. I'd say green would be the second biggest winner because green, you're now free to do what you want to do, right? For hand destruction wise, a lot of people still not gonna prepare for hand destruction, so you could catch them slipping and then catch a couple of games off of them because they are not prepared for hand destruction. That being said, if I were to pick a green deck, it was just in here too. I saw it. A green deck that I really love. I'm not sure if it's good, like I said, but I got to play it. It's gonna be this guy. I'm not gonna find the leader in time. It's this Green Goku, right? This Green Goku, I think it's solid because of the support cards that I was reading when I was catching up on the past sets that I missed out since I've been playing for a minute. I do believe that if this deck had more support, it'd be super good. I'm not sure if it could stand up to the fight right now, but it does have some really, really good stuff. Like it has a 1-drop, pretty much. I don't know if I pulled it. It has like a 1-drop counterplay Gohan, which is super good. Like really, really good. I'm like, oh damn, like that's legit. It has obviously the extra card negate, which is an also a really really good solid card. If I were to play this deck, honestly speaking, I would find a way to make it a straight hand control deck. Um, Thoughts on the new green secret rare? What is the new green secret rare? You have to enlighten me. My bad. It's been a minute since I was playing. Oh, it's the god rare, right? Is it that god rare? That one that gives it it makes your guy. Remind me of the effect. It does something like make your guy triple strike or something. Remind me of the effect, Weezy. Cause I was reading up on a lot of cards. All right, here it is. Here's the Gohan. I did pull a Gohan. So it's this Gohan, right? It's a 2 drop. It's gonna play for one. To counterplay one green. Play this card, and if the battle card being played has an energy cost of 4, let's place it in owner's drop area instead. That's why I'd want to venture out playing with this Goku card, because that's a majority of cards in this game. It's gonna be 4 or less, especially when they're trying to cheat in. It's gonna be really really good, really really powerful. My issue with the game right now is that it's gonna be a yellow dominant format, because in my opinion the best card in the game is that promo Sin Shenron. That card is just insane to me. Like the fact that it was in leader lock, it just makes it completely insane to me. It's gonna be a fun time trying to out that, because not a lot of decks can handle it. And if you do handle it, it's rough, because you're losing on an energy that you would have used to efficiently do something else. So as yeah, the Godric gives your leader triple strike for 2 energy and combo. Damn, so you get an extra 10. Yeah, it's solid, man. It's solid. My thing is, you would have to find a leader that can. I mean, what would you want to play that over? I'm trying to think of the secret rest for green. You have the green cell max. But in my opinion, if I'm playing personally, if I'm playing green itself, I'm gonna play hand destruction. And since I'm playing hand destruction, maybe I would play that over Invader's Vow, but I would just play Invader's Vow because for one, I'd make you discard too, and just that's just my opinion. Like if I'm playing some kind of hand destruction, like if I couldn't make this green deck work, I'd be playing something like Cell, right? Because the Cell starter deck leader, that reboot leader, it's critical, so you're denying your opponent advantage. Any type of support. You also have cards such as the Cells Kamehameha. I also got to go back and glance the Z battle cards to see, hey, what's up in the Z leader cards to see if it's interchangeable with that actual leader itself. I would like to play something super super hand destruction if I'm playing green, to the point where it doesn't matter if they're playing cards such as like the Bora and stuff, because like the way I'm ripping the cards from your hand, that draw two is not gonna do anything for you, because I'm gonna rip you to zero. It's I think it's the format where hand destruction finally gets to thrive, because the super hyper aggressive decks are just no longer here. There are a couple that's going to come back. Like I said, I touched on it earlier. You have the U7 Goku leader. You have the U7 Gohan leader. The U7 Gohan leader, I believe it's an under talked about leader, but I think people are forgetting that that leader does have the ability to give you crazy amounts of Z energy if you're still looking for that like free type of Z energy type deal. Um, yeah, that's it. That's it for green. Honestly, I just play a super crazy hand destruction type deck. That new Gohan leader, I did read it. That is a solid generic leader. Very interested to look at it, but the way I'm looking at the game right now, if it's not able to just 100% clear cut yellow, I just wouldn't be invested into it. I don't think that deck would be able to do that. Specifically, Trunks. I think if I were to look at yellow decks, the top yellow decks, if I were to put it in order, I'd put Trunks as number one. I would put number two. If I were to look at yellow decks right now, I want to between Golden Frieza, the reboot ape started at Goku, and Majin Vegeta. Which one is better? Which one would I rather play? I would venture to say the reboot, not the reboot, the Majin Vegeta starter deck, but I haven't built it yet, because like I've seen builds of it, and it's okay, but I'd like to, like, you guys know me, right? When I touch a deck, I like to completely take it apart, gut it, and then put it back together, because there's some cards that people just are over glancing on it, and I believe that is the case for the Majin Vegeta leader itself. Golden Frieza as well, because Golden Frieza, a lot of people are playing Hiroshi. I would like to venture out with cards that give my guys critical. Like I talked about it before previously, right? I would like to play with the one drop Gohans, that the one drop Krillins, that when you attack, it takes life and gives crit. I like to play. There's another Goku. It's the same thing. One drop When you play it, you attack, you take a life, you gain crit. Like I would like proactive ways to take my life versus reactive ways, which is hey, I'm gonna play I guess Roshi, whatever the case may be, stuff like that. But time will tell on where yellow goes. I think the just solid hands down best yellow deck is Trunks though. It's just completely insane because even for the weaker matchups, you get to think about it this way, right? The deck was really insane, but now not only do you have to deal with the threat of the 19 drop Trunks or the 19k Trunks barrier blocker that rests the guy, you also now have to deal with that Sin promo card, which is completely insane. Let me see. I got Golden as number one, but I'm biased. That's why I like to play. Yeah, Golden is really good. It's really, really good too, right? I'm not saying it's not good, but my issue with Golden is, for instance, let's say you're playing against me. I'm playing Trunks, and you're playing. This is top cut, right? We got past switch, and this is top cut. And I'm playing main decking Slug. You're gonna lose that match, get that game one instantly because you're not gonna be able to get anything. Like I'm not looking. I'm looking past Swiss. I'm talking about if people were to sit down. Like if let me put it this way. Not if you're playing against me. So if Wheezy, we're playing against Wheezy, right? Let's say you're playing against yourself. You had Golden Frieza. Your player A has Golden Frieza. Player B has Trunks. I think Trunks just has a better way to win without just putting anything in, just base stat. You see what I'm saying? Versus what Golden Frieza wants to do, because it's pretty much the same thing where we're stalling. The only difference between my deck and your deck would be I get to actually attack with guys. Like I'm gonna progressively attack while defending. Where Frieza, you wait on bombs. Like wait to turn 5 to establish the cooler. You wait until turn anywhere between 4 to 5 to 6 to play the Gohan and also have the cooler behind it. The Swift Retaliation cooler. It's good, but it takes longer for you guys to win the game versus the other yellow decks, and that's my issue with Frieza. Because if you play against a really good aggro player, they're not gonna let that happen because it's okay, cool. So if you repulse me and I don't feel like answering it with a Tilo or whatever it is, I'm gonna have a one drop in play, and that one drop I'm gonna attack with something else what I really want to attack with since I baited out the repose, and it's gonna rest the one drop. You see what I'm saying? It's things like that which I can just start to outplay a Golden Frieza player, which I think you can't really do that to Trunks. You can't really say, hey, this is what they're gonna. You can say, hey, this is what they're gonna do, but it's not really an efficient way to stop it per se. And we draw a lot more with Trunks. Trunks is insane, and just that's just my opinion though. Some people like Golden Frieza better. For instance, Teammate Legend. I told him, I said, bro, you'd be a nasty player with Trunks. He goes, nah, he just likes to play Golden Frieza. I'm like, all right. I mean, I guess it's a really good deck. The one thing Golden Frieza you guys do have over us, you guys have the actual Cold Bloodlust. We have the bootleg Dollar Tree Cold Bloodlust in Death Blaster. You guys have the legit Cold Bloodlust, which we don't have. That I am jealous of, but I mean, it is what it is at that time and point, right? I'm trying to think what other green decks besides that. Like, I guess you can go back to super aggressive, not super aggressive, like super. I'm gonna take your hands early on, but it's like hit or miss with the Android 13 because that green Android 13 is super hit or miss. It's literally you get the one that's gonna get you another one and rip your opponent's hand down to like, so they're gonna start off with like 2 to 3 cards, or you don't get any pieces. But the plus and the advantage you have now is that you're not whiffing and having to go against a super aggressive deck on your turn one. So I guess you could venture onto that. I just believe hand destruction is back, and if I'm playing green, I'm just gonna tailor my deck to be a hand destruction deck, with the exception of the green Gohan. I believe the green Gohan could be either hand destruction or straight up aggro, just the way the leader reads itself and the genericness to the leader itself. So we talked about red. We talked about Oh, we did talk about red. We talked about yellow. We talked about green. We touched on black. Yeah, black. I think the two top Saiyan leaders would be Trunks and would be Cumber. Everything else you can play. Um, I wouldn't really just venture to do anything like that because I would like my hand size to be huge as a black player while being able to defend myself. Because like if I'm playing Trunks and I'm awake and I'm at 8 life, I just think that's an advantage. That's an advantage that people just don't have the luxury of having. If I'm playing Cumber and I'm at 6 life, but my hand size is like 10 to 15, it's super crazy insane. Everyone get your the Boars. Yeah, you should have the Boars in your sideboard. If you don't, you're just gonna get bodied against hand destruction. In my opinion, that's just the way it is. Because even if you do have the boards, honestly speaking, if you don't see them, you're still gonna get bodied by hand destruction because hand destruction doesn't have that threat anymore. Where it's like, oh snap, I'm just gonna super lose. I think the most aggressive decks we have now for red would probably be between Pan and U7. I mean, I'm trying to think what other decks. You also have the Gogeta VR deck itself, which I believe is good. I believe if that deck picked up steam, Golden Frieza would have problems. 'Cause I don't see how you guys would play your deck and by outing that barrier threat because you don't have any main deck answers to that barrier guy. It's just this is just gonna sit on board. The only thing you can do is what swing and then Final Flash. I guess if you're even playing Final Flash, I don't even think people are playing Final Flash in Golden Frieza, but I don't know what you can do for yeah, going against that Veku that says, hey, if you untap your energy, I'm gonna rip your energy from your number the card from your energy. I don't think you have an answer to that main word. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't think you do. What else do you have for red aggressive decks? I think those are the top two front runners. You can also play Gogeta VR. You could turn that to an aggressive deck with throwing in some delusions, whatever the case may be, sitting on your Broly Secret Rare and then just going for that to win for a game. Having that 8 drop come out, swing twice, do all that shenanigans. Um, blue. The only blue deck I'd venture into play would be Zamasu. That's just my opinion. Like it just be Zamasu. Beerus, you can do it, but I just play Zamasu because it's like Zamasu does what you're trying to do, but better in my opinion. Like you're just ramping using energy. Beerus, yeah, you're ramping to later game and stuff, but Zamasu you're able to ramp by putting pressure. So you'll win by putting pressure, or you could just flip the switch and just say, okay, cool, I'm just gonna ramp and get to X. And when I get to X, I'm gonna do this. And then when I get to, if you get to 5 energy, I'm just gonna rip you down to 2 energy. You see what I'm saying? Like it's. I think it's just a better Beerus, in my opinion, than Zamasu deck because it gives you a way to just win without getting to X amount of energy. Actual Zamasu or Goku Black Reboot. The starter deck, I bought it from Target too. I bought it from Target. I'm gonna make a deck profile on this. This is a huge ass box. I saw this. I thought it was a video game at first. This is a huge